We're going to go round table. My first day back. Let's have some fun. Grover Norquist, founder of Americans for Tax Reform. And come on, there's Rich Lowry, the editor of National Review. We're going to do a round table. Put it all up there. And we have the great Hugh Hewitt with the most listened to radio show in the history of radio shows. Hall of Fame, no question about it. Grover, you saw I want to start with the movie Reagan, okay? Sure. Mm-hmm. Judy and I, saintly wife and I went and saw it Friday night. Rich Lowry is on set. I think you said you saw it this afternoon. I thought it was very good, okay? Very accurate, very Reagan. Grover, the liberal critics hate it. They're trying to pan it. But actually, it's beating everything on the box office. We win, they lose. That was the key. And tear down this wall, Grover Norquist. You take it from there.
Mark Joseph, the producer, put together a Hollywood-quality movie about Reagan's story. Paul Kengor wrote the book on which it's based about Reagan's victory in the Cold War, both economic and American military might. It's a powerful reminder of what serious economic growth and being serious about your enemies makes all Americans safer.
That's just great because I'm speaking to Rich, and I don't want to get to in a minute. I mean, basically, it's the Crusader through this John Voight character of the KGB. But it was mostly about his fight against communism and ultimately victory against communism. But there's one cool scene in there. There's a cabinet meeting, and it was probably 1981 or two. Oh, yeah. Stockman's trying to raise taxes. Yeah. Yes. And Reagan turns to Stockman, and you see this guy with the weird hair, and just starts ripping him to pieces. Now, I can tell you, as someone who was there, this was historically correct.
Yeah, so this is a key part of Reagan we sometimes forget, right? He's gauzy and optimistic and uplifting, all that. But you pushed him on something close to his core, right. He could push back hard, and that scene gets to it on economic policy. And there was a war within the administration, as there usually is in most administrations. But then also he brought this just adamantine insistence that we were going to win the Cold War.
Yes.
And, he was willing to negotiate. He was willing to be at the table sometimes, not be at the table at others. But he was one of the greatest statesmen in American history, winning this titanic struggle between totalitarianism and freedom.
Hugh Hewitt, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but there's a great...
I have not yet seen it this week.
All right, well, we can't ruin it for you because you already know the story.
He knows how it turns out.
But there's a great section, Hugh Hewitt, how Reagan cleaned the communists out of the Screen Actors Guild. Remember, he was president of the Screen Actors Guild, I don't know, 5 times. Jack Warner was helping him along, but Reagan was relentless. He went to Congress, Hugh. I mean, that's the kind of backbone that we need today.
I hope they are showing in this movie. And every time I drive into Reagan Airport in DCA, I look at the statue of Ronald Reagan. I thank Grover Norquist for getting that statue put up there, by the way. Every time I drive in, I think about his deployment of the perishing tubes and the cruise missiles to Europe in the teeth of a domestic uprising as serious as any we have ever seen. He faced down American and European protesters, and that was the first step. Another one was walking out of the door in Reykjavik. I can't wait to see the movie, but we had house guests this weekend, so it's midweek for us.
All right, well, there's plenty of time. I hope we have something up on the full screen that shows the picture of Dennis Quaid in a cowboy hat with the logo Reagan. Please put that up. There it is. There it is. And you get used to Dennis Quaid as Reagan. I mean, it's a hard thing to do. And my friend John Voight did a great job as the KGB agent. Now, Grover Norquist, you don't need a KGB agent. The taxes are going to, the capital gains and dividends tax is going to go to 44.6%. So if you invest in a corporation, they're going to jack up the corporate tax. We're going to have a higher corporate tax than China, for heaven's sakes, a lot higher. And an investor is going to wind up paying about 60% on the so-called earnings of a company. Well, what's this going to do to the economy, Grover Norquist?
Well, the Democrats, Biden and Kamala Harris, and the legislators have said they want to take the capital gains tax up to 44.6%, add the state capital gains tax, and you're at 50 and 60% in some states. The corporate income tax increase, they want to take up to 28% federal, higher than China's. Higher than China's. We're supposed to compete with China while we're damaged by our own government with higher taxes. Add state taxes, the corporate income tax, and Pennsylvania is at 34%, way higher than China. Why do that to voters and workers in Pennsylvania and in Michigan, up to 34%, and our friends in Wisconsin, 33%. Tremendous damage.
Right. No, it's unbelievable. And by the way, just as a reminder, talking about Reagan, Reagan cut the top tax rate to 28%, okay? Yes. He did it in 2 tranches, 28%. And during the course of Reagan's boom, from late 82 through 89, early 90, the American economy grew at 5.5% after inflation for all those years. Rich Lowry, you think the coming debate, I'm switching gears like crazy here. I loved your piece in the New York Times. You think the coming debate, Trump versus Harris got a character problem. You flip-flop all around, you have a character problem.
I think presidential races are always about character, suitability for the office. So yes, Trump needs to make the policy case against her, absolutely. But all needs to connect to a deeper case that she's weak, that she's phony, she doesn't really care. This is what Democrats did to Mitt Romney in 2012, right? They hit him hard on policy, but all went to the case. He's a vulture capitalist who's out of touch and doesn't care about people, so he was disqualified. So presidential races very often are won by disqualifying the other person, and that's what Trump needs to be completely focused on doing to her.
Hugh Hewitt, we broke a little news tonight because Mr. Trump will speak Thursday before the New York Economic Club. I expect that to be hard-hitting, and it bridges to the debate. But Hugh Hewitt, feel free. Give him some debate advice or give him some New York Economic Club advice, Mr. Hugh Hewitt. What are you thinking?
Well, let me focus on the debate, because I don't know economics the way you do, Larry, and I don't know foreign affairs the way that Robert O'Brien and Brian Hook do, but I do know how to do debates. And what the former president ought to do is nothing when she is speaking. She cannot communicate. The great communicator had that gift. Now, I've been lucky to work for Nixon, for Reagan, to have interviewed W a few times, Donald Trump a lot of times. Each of those men had different skill sets, but they were all had a skill set. I don't think Vice President Harris has the minimum skill set necessary to be president. And she will demonstrate that if he simply stands there and lets her babble for 90 seconds or cut it off and does not rise to any bait, no matter how juicy it looks, no matter how much he is tempted. Say nothing about her. She cannot win on her own speed. In fact, I think she's peaked.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Off the record, a lot of us have said that to him, and I think he's improved his game. I totally agree. By the way, I'm sorry we don't have the clip. Again, Ronald Reagan, who was a fabulous debater. I will not make my opponent's relative youth and inexperience a political issue in this race with Walter Mondale. The crowd erupted in laughter, and that was it. Anyway, thank you ever so much, Hugh Hewitt and Rich Lowry and Grover Norquist. It was all very off the cuff. Go see Reagan, folks. Just go see Reagan in a theater near you.